Hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk to you about the ENFJ and their introverted intuition and God. So, my question for you is, how intuitive are ENFJs really? I do believe that ENFJs are highly intuitive and attuned to gut feelings and what's not said and the hidden and the complex and underlying reasons and going beyond what the facts are. They're just very, very in tune, especially when it comes to people, because ENFJs are very intrigued by people in general. There's a deep need to understand the psyche of someone. That's just a natural place where ENFJs like to dwell. But I just wonder how highly an ENFJ's intuition is truly developed. And I want to know what part of it is God, what part of it is you and your personality type. And if you work in a field where, like a psychological field or the counseling field, like I do, how much of that is developed with just training? So I sometimes wonder about myself, are there some other influences that are impacting my intuition and making it stronger than other ENFJs? Or are we on the same playing field? Am I getting the intuitive part correct? Or are there some other aspects? And I'll tell you why. So I definitely know that there's an aspect of God that I rely on and that I tap into. There are things that, and I'm not saying that some people totally exercise the prophetic and all of that, and I think I can do that to some degree. I'm really not interested in too much of the prophetic because I just don't feel like I could handle it. Do I think I could develop that lane even more? 100%. Because I have developed a connection with God that I think is unusual, and it's hard to explain, and it's personal. And it was something that I prayed for when I was going through a tough time, just asking for the Holy Spirit to come into my life to help me. And I really didn't quite know what I was asking for, but I think God heard me, and I was meant to connect with Jesus in that way. So I think there's a piece of me that's a little different. I don't even share that with people that I know, so it's kind of weird to be sharing it on here. So there are some things that God will tell me, or that I feel like He's telling me, that I don't know if I would pick that up with my intuition. For example, I knew there were a couple of friends I knew there was going to be some issues with. When one time when I was visiting them, I knew something was going to happen, and it did, and I left feeling really angry, but I already knew what God was telling me before I even entered. Now, that didn't make it any less upsetting, but it was sort of the beginning of the end of a friendship for me. There are other times, I think in one of my videos I talked about how one time me and my mom were about to cross a street, and it was in a store parking lot, and I felt like we needed to be very, very careful. And I remember her yelling at me, why? Like, why are we stopping? And then this car just came out of nowhere and just speeding, like going 90 when they should have been going 10. So if we had moved, then we would have been hit. So I don't know. I mean, I've had some experiences like that, not a whole lot, but I definitely feel God constantly. And even when I'm counseling with people, there will be times when I feel like God would say, hold back, or, don't go so fast, or slow it down a little bit, or just, I don't know. So I know ENFJs are highly, highly, highly intuitive, but I know there's also a lane that God speaks to me. And if he wasn't letting me know not to make certain moves, or that something negative was going to happen, and just be aware or whatever, I don't know that I would know that. But I will say that even when I was a little girl, probably, I don't know, second grade maybe was the beginning of when I just started tapping into people, kind of understanding, I guess, how to make people tick, but in a positive way. I just remember in second grade, all the kids following me and wanting to do what I wanted to do and wanting to be my friend. But I also understood kindness and being nice and being their safe place, and just kind of understanding, being sensitive to people. That started at a very early age. I would say maybe fourth or fifth grade was when I really started to notice there was an intuition there, that I was reading people, just like really, like, I know what you're doing. I know you're not hiding anything from me. I know what your motives are. So I think that just is a natural part of an ENFJ's MBTI, is it's kind of it's incredible, really. It's really incredible, and it's really fun, and it's really satisfying to be able to sort of tap into someone else's world. And then the other part of me is, because I started to feel that at a very young age, I wanted to counsel people and help them in a psychological way. And so I've had a lot of training. I remember saying, I don't need any training. I can just be a counselor. And that was not accepted or acceptable. And I can see why. I think you definitely need training to be a counselor or a therapist or a psychologist. There is a lot of training that's involved. But when I think about, they teach you how to listen to people's feelings, or reflect thoughts, those kinds of things. There's confrontation involved. Like, sometimes people have irrational beliefs, and you can gently confront them on those irrational beliefs. So you get trained in a lot of areas and a lot of techniques and theories, and so it's critical and important for sure. But when I think about, did they teach me how to be intuitive? Like, did they ever say, this is how to use your intuition? This is how to make your intuition work? Because I think you can be a sensor and you can be a great counselor or therapist. I think really most types can be good therapists, and I would go to therapy with any MBTI type, just because it's they're still drawing from their perspective, so they could help me grow to another level, or to have new insight. So it's not about that. But when I think about, was there any training, like real training on intuition, your sixth sense, like tapping into your gut feeling or going beyond what is spoken or said? I think to some degree, yes. But I think a lot, no. I think I use my intuition. I think it gives me an edge. So I guess in conclusion, I would say that introverted intuition is real. It's deep. I think it's weird how it seems like a lot of people don't recognize or realize that ENFJs are capable of doing that. I think some people are. I mean, I think Kiersey was. David Kiersey, he was an INTP. He and I actually wrote to each other, which is so fun and so cool. But his wife was an ENFJ. So there are things that he definitely understood about the ENFJ's intuition. So yeah, I think intuition, introverted intuition is a real thing. I think you can develop it more. And I think that's part of life, because really a lot of intuition is about experience, about learning from experiences and nuances, and what does that nuance mean, and what did it mean the last time, and testing it across many different people and coming to some conclusions that are accurate at least most of the time. So yeah, but I can't live your life or tell you what to do, but I would definitely say, like, when you are connected with God, it definitely enhances your intuition and your knowing, and, just developing your relationship with Him. It definitely helps me. But I think that's the way God made ENFJs anyway, is we're just highly intuitive beings. So I would be curious to know what your comments are. Do you feel like you are highly intuitive naturally? Or do you feel like there are other influences? So if you want to see more ENFJ videos, then like this one. And also, I've made friendship pins that I had fun making, and for you guys. So if you would like one, you can check out the link below. I'll link it below in case anybody wants one. And I do it for all the Myers-Briggs types, not just ENFJ. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, share this video with people so that they understand who you are a little bit better. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for always your support. Like, I feel ENFJ support so deeply. Like, I know maybe I'm biased, but I think ENFJs make people feel supported just in general. And I definitely feel it, and I need it. So thanks so much. See you on the next video. Bye.